Aquino and Verno Phillips for the WBO Super Welterweight title. Let's get to it now with Michael Buck.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the America West Arena right here in Phoenix, Arizona, where tonight, Top Rank Incorporated in association with the undisputed, undefeated King of Beers, Budweiser, proud to be your bud, present professional boxing for your entertainment. These bouts are all sanctioned by the Arizona State Boxing Commission, Chairman Buzz Alston, Commissioners Maurice Dale and Philip Cagle, Executive Director John Montano, Physicians at ringside Dr. Mark Siegel, Dr. Charles Howard, and Dr. Ralph Smith. Timekeeper Jim Ackerman, counting for the knockdown second Sam Munoz. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get things started with the first championship bout of the evening. It is sanctioned by the World Boxing Organization. Supervisor at ringside from the Arizona State Commission, Mr. John Montano. The three judges scoring the bout on a 10-point must system will be Paul Thomas, Huito Fernandez, and Aaron Kaiser. Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant WBO Super Welterweight Championship. Introducing first our referee when the action starts, he will be Al Munoz. Fighting out of the red corner, wearing the green, black, and gold trunks, weighing 151½ pounds. He's from Troy, New York, with a professional record of 21 victories, 11 KOs, 4 defeats with 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, he's ranked #1 in the world by the WBO. He is Verno Phillips. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the blue trunks with white letters. He weighs in at an even 154 pounds. From Santa Paula, California, he brings an outstanding record of 45 victories, 32 by KO, 5 defeats with 2 draws, ranked #7 by the WBC. Ladies and gentlemen, a former junior middleweight champion of the world, Lupe Aquino.
Let's be aware of one thing. The mandatory 8 count is in effect, and if you fall 3 times in 1 round, the fight's over, guys. And obey my commands at all times. You know the regulations. I'm here to enforce the WBO. Okay, shake hands, guys. Let's come on fighting.
So we look down on these two. Verno Phillips, who I must say does not look nearly as tight as he did yesterday, just ahead of the opening bell, to face the former champion Lupe Aquino. And there is a look at Lupe Aquino. Lupe has dropped about 35 pounds, and he really does look absolutely fit. Although whenever I think about that, I'll always harken back to how good Muhammad Ali looked when he fought Larry Holmes.
Yeah, the only difference is Ali lost it over a short period of time. Aquino has lost it over about a year period, coming back first as a light heavyweight, now, as you say, in good shape as a junior middleweight.
I think Aquino also realizes that Phillips may be a little bit tight. And he came right out with a quick right hand. Very important round for Verno Phillips, just to hold his own.
I want to mention that we've referred to the fact that Lupe Aquino was in jail for a little while. It was a manslaughter conviction in a fatal automobile accident in which he was involved in, and those charges kept him in jail for several years. And as we chronicled in the feature, and as he's talked to us about, he used that time to make some positive changes in his life.
Yeah, in its own way, it really was a positive. You hate to look upon something like that as a positive, but Aquino says that he turned his life around completely. And that would be every aspect of his life. Phillips doing the right thing here, just kind of staying away, getting into a rhythm in this first round.
Which is important for him. He's to come in, throw his punches, and get out.
Yeah, that is his plan coming in here. A lot of movement. Lupe Aquino, big puncher, he just can't stand in front of it.
But Phillips is going to want to counterpunch effectively against Lupe. There's an example of it.
That wasn't a bad idea. Now that, of course, is very similar to the style that Sugar Ray Leonard used in defeating Marvin Hagler. That is, get in, 3-4 punch combination, and get out.
There was a right by Aquino, good counter left that just missed by Verno Phillips, and that is going to be the story of this fight, folks. Watch for Aquino to initiate the action, then Verno Phillips will come back with his own counter shots. Here's Phillips getting off. Oh, excellent right by Phillips. And what set that up was the jab.
Phillips fighting a very good first round.
And you know what? You said he needed a good first round, Barry, and you were correct. And this has been a little bit of a confidence builder for him. You know why, too? He's taken a couple of good right hands from Aquino, and this was the dangerous part of the fight, especially considering how tight he was yesterday. This was the part of the fight that could have been a problem for him.
Good left hand, and down goes Phillips. And it was the other man with the counter punch.
Yeah, ironically.
Flash knockdown. I don't really believe Phillips is hurt.
No, I don't think he's really stunned that badly. We'll see, though. Lupe's a good finisher.
Coming to the end of the first round, and it's over. But it really turned that round in a big hurry.
And it was a very exciting round.
You're in the corner of Verno Phillips.
You can hit just the side of this guy. All right? Don't get challenged. You understand? You're doing nicely, and all of a sudden you move. You forget it. All right. All right. Now we're going to do what we're supposed to do. All right? Yeah. We're going to do what we're supposed to do.
Well, the ironies about this are many. First of all, as you point out, it was Lupe who was countering the right to the body and gets him just on the point of the chin, whereas Phillips has been wanting to do the counter punching. And ironically also, it was a low blow that he was countered on. And that's why his hand was so low that the left hook got there.
Another thing that's interesting about that,
I don't have a third irony for you.
No, but two is good. He was only trying to do what he'd been doing successfully the whole first round, and that is get in and get out. But he didn't get out quick enough.
Yeah, very interesting. This fight is set up as not only an interesting tactical fight, but obviously an exciting one, which we anticipated.
Take a look at the numbers in the first round, and Aquino landing more and throwing more, and even with that, not a bad round for Phillips.
No, it was going okay until that knockdown, really, because he at least had gotten his sea legs under him and had been able to land some shots. Now, you heard what they said to him in his corner. You can hit as hard as this guy. And the reason they said that, I think, was to let him know, you know, you're getting to him, too. Don't feel like this is just, he's just such a huge knockout punch that you can't hurt him.
Well, that's the thing we talked about, that the first round really needed to be a confidence builder for Verno Phillips, and it started out that way, but then getting knocked down doesn't do much for your confidence.
No, not at all. And that's what they're trying to build up in the corner.
Quino being very patient, although as you saw in the numbers, he did throw 86 punches in the first round. That's a pretty good number.
Lupe's throwing straighter punches tonight, Barry. You pointed that out, that he's had some times where he's thrown those punches a little too wide.
Yeah, as he was coming down in weight, we had him in what was a light heavyweight fight in San Diego several months ago, and his punches looked pretty ponderous, to be honest with you. I don't see that tonight. So with the loss of weight comes a little bit more quickness.
And I think Verno Phillips wanted to take this fight a little longer for a variety of reasons. He's hoping that Lupe won't be able to be as strong in the later rounds.
Quino doing a very nice job of cutting the ring on Phillips. Good quick left hand. Phillips still looking to counter. He got himself in trouble doing that, but I really do think that that is just one of those things that happens.
But both men are committing so much to the body, and there's the combinations for which Phillips is known. Even if sometimes they're wide punches, when he throws them, he does throw a lot of combinations.
hear Aquino's corner telling him he's holding it too long. He's waiting too long.
Okay, all the way back. Don't hit. Don't hit.
That's the end of the second round.
And if the first one didn't get the confidence for Phillips, that one might have. There is Oscar De La Hoya getting ready for his fight with Narciso Valenzuela.
Big fight for Oscar De La Hoya. We'll speak a little bit more about it. Big, if only for the fact that from this point on, there's no looking back for Oscar De La Hoya. And he needs to think about first things first, and the first thing he needs to think about is Narciso Valenzuela.
He wants a good performance here tonight. They're talking world championship within 4 or 5 months, so if that's to be the case, he wants to look as good as possible this evening. Verno Phillips mixing his attack pretty well. Going to the body and then up to the head. He's really committed a lot of work to the body, and I think he feels that, you know, Quino hasn't gone 10 rounds since he came back the first time in February of this year against Ernie Magdaleno, and since then it's been 4, 6, 2, and 1 rounds. So he thinks if he can get in those later rounds and work the body early, he'll have an advantage.
Whole bottom line for Verno Phillips, and you pointed it up in the keys to victory, is movement. He's done that relatively well so far. Take a look at the numbers in the second round, see if they differ, and they do differ a little bit. Aquino a little bit more economical and not landing as much. Phillips stepped it up considerably.
And there you see Phillips against the ropes, but counterpunching well up the ropes and not letting Lupe do as much work as he might.
Good uppercut from Phillips. Phillips doing a nice job inside, and additionally doing a nice job of getting out of it.
And moving in a much more fluid way in the second and third rounds here. I mean, let's face it, he was a little tight that first round.
Oh, took a right hook, and that dropped him right into the ropes. And now Phillips is hurt. He's more hurt now than he was after the knockdown. And Aquino, as you said, is a great finisher, trying to get right on top of him.
Verno doing a real good job there of slipping those punches. You might want to get close. Yeah, there he is. Well, Lupe Aquino can punch. Make no mistake about that. He's always been a murderous puncher as a junior middleweight.
And let's point out, too, this fight for the super welterweight championship, and you keep hearing us refer to junior middleweight, super welterweight. They are one and the same. Just depends on which one of the letter groups that you're dealing with.
I guess I'm so used to calling it junior middleweight that it's hard for me to change. Now, Phillips hurt early in this round, but has done an excellent job of getting himself back into things, and he's done it by staying close to Aquino, where he's not going to get hit with those big punches from the outside.
Although it was a short right hand that hurt him. Phillips doing a pretty good job. He's got his legs back under him and generating a little bit of power in close.
He's working well on the inside. I mean, working the body and the head. That's not normally his total stock in trade, but he's getting it done there tonight.
There's that right hand. That was the same punch that hurt him.
And Phillips coming with a good counter right hand over it. Or counter left hook, excuse me. And now working well on the inside with the uppercut. He may have stunned Aquino with that punch.
He may have also stolen the round with the beginning and the end of it.
He's had a very good ending portion of this round. You're right, and the beginning wasn't bad either. And you know, just a little lateral movement against Aquino really works. When you're in front of him, though, boy, he will get you.
Now, it's interesting, too, just to point out another thing, is that we talked about how Lupe Aquino was cutting the ring against Phillips. He did not do that in this round. And a nice recovery from Phillips after being hurt early in the round.
And he certainly made it a close round in any case.
Right now, let's go to Fernando Paramo, who is in Narciso Valenzuela's locker room. Fernando.
Just like in Oscar De La Hoya's corner, Valenzuela is working out, is loosening up. He seems very relaxed and ready to go also.
All right, thanks very much, Fernando. That is Fernando Paramo. As we said, he will be with us all night long. He'll be doing some interpretation. Narciso Valenzuela does not speak English. I would doubt that this man would be very nervous. He has been there.
He's had a lot of experience and in big fights, and even turned down a championship match to get this one, but more of that later. Here's where Lupe Aquino used a nice right hand, a counter right hand, Well, interestingly, that one didn't look like it landed that badly over him. But it did something in that whole sequence, did stun Verno Phillips.
So we start round number 4. And it has been, in large part, a close fight. The fact that Aquino had Phillips down and also hurt him in the last round is really the only difference in the fight. But I hasten to point out it was a flash knockdown, and Phillips recovered very well after taking the right hand.
There are a couple of subplots now playing themselves out. One of them is which guy will go to the body and get hurt the most to the head as they're doing it. So far, it's been Phillips, but there's been a couple times when Aquino's going down to the body, hasn't been quick enough bringing his hands up, and Aquino's tagged him in the head.
Look at your card, Al, and you have it a 2-point fight for Aquino.
Yeah, he won the first one by 2 points, and he won the third round by a point. I give the second round to Verno Phillips. When Phillips is at his best, he is throwing combinations, and we've seen flashes of that in this bout. Surely he would like to do more of it. But, you know, part of the problem is when he opens up like that, he's getting countered pretty well by Quino.
Yeah, Phillips has come into this fight with a pretty good plan. Now, whether or not he can execute it enough to win remains to be seen.
The other really important point to note is this is a big jump up for Verno. The people he's been fighting, the Raphael Williams and the Michael Wards and the Ricardo Munozes, they're okay, but they are not Lupe Aquino.
That was a hook that landed right on the nose of Aquino, but it was a little bit short. Those were all caught in the gloves of Aquino.
What Aquino wants to do is have Phillips fire off those flurries, then come out with his own counter punches, so he's out counter punching the counter puncher. And in a way, he's made Phillips come to him with this quick start. You know, as we go on with this bout, you get the feeling now, more than we even thought before, the conditioning is going to be an aspect, because Phillips will have moved a lot, and Aquino, who hasn't had that many fights go a long way, will be tested because Phillips is going to the body. So how well they'll respond in 4 or 5 rounds could have a big impact on this fight.
I have to say that just on appearance, Lupe Aquino looks to be in as good a physical condition as I've ever seen him, even going back to when he was champion the first time.
And he said to us, and we have to assume it's true, that he's training a lot harder now.
Lifting weights, which he never did before.
Well, what did he say? He said, I was the worst athlete ever.
Yeah.
Champion.
Yeah, he's very candid about that. End of round 4, and we're going to take you into Lupe Aquino's corner.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Mira, me están diciendo, ¿ok? Me están diciendo, están dándose en ¿ok? No te voy a mentir, hombre, toma.
Very quiet corner, I'll say that.
Deep breath.
So needless to say, no concern in that corner.
Verno Phillips getting a counter left hook in after a jab by Lupe Aquino. But here's Aquino's defense, which primarily has been pretty good. Even the body shot's not quite getting through for Verno Phillips, and after that, it's usually Aquino uncoiling with a good shot.
Round number 5. Verno Phillips, as we said, coming in here with a pretty good idea. It's just that the execution is not quite up to the idea.
Yeah, he's been close to making it work, but he hasn't quite done it.
You know, the numbers through 4 rounds, and you can see Aquino now starting to get a pretty decided edge, although Phillips still with a higher connect percentage.
Boy, they just both did some excellent work on the inside, and I mean some good body work, especially by Aquino. But Verno Phillips is working that body well, and that's something that could have, excellent right by Phillips to the body.
Crank that right hand.
You seldom see 2 guys come out and really work the body like this. Munoz with a warning to Lupe Aquino. Oh, these are murderous body shots.
Well, again, it's all leading to the fact that this could come down to a fight of conditioning, as you said. Right now, neither of these men looking to be the least bit tired. Of course, a long way to go. 12-round fight.
This is the kind of round Verno Phillips really wanted in this bout, though. I mean, he's wonderful. Now, not too many fighters throw that combination. A left hook followed by a left uppercut. But it's an excellent combination if you've got quick enough hand speed to do it. It's been the kind of round that Verno Phillips wanted, where he controls, lands his punches, doesn't get tattooed with anything big.
That uppercut is really working for Phillips.
And I'll tell you the other punch that could really come into play for Phillips is the left hook over the right hand of Aquino.
There is now blood from the nose of Lupe Aquino, and it is no small amount of blood, and that's where he has been cut previously. It's right on the bridge of the nose.
And that's what happens from uppercuts. Uppercuts have been known to break your nose and create those kind of problems. This is a huge round for Verno Phillips. He has done almost everything right. And you can feel in Lupe Aquino's eyes, or you can see it in his eyes, the fact that he really knows he's got to go to work on Phillips. He's been shook in this round.
I think that cut is not the one on the bridge of his nose. I think it's from inside the nose. And that, too, could indicate broken nose.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to play doctor, but that happens. We've seen it many times.
Verno Phillips fighting very well on the inside.
There is a lot of blood from the nose, more than a little bit.
Aquino switching to lefty a moment or two ago, and he does that from time to time. Those uppercuts are taking a real toll on the nose.
Yeah. Nice combination right there. They're going to have some work to do on the nose of Lupe Aquino if they can fix it at all, because, again, without trying to play position here, I would make a strong guess that it's a broken nose. And we're going to take you into the corner. Not really very good dinner fare, I suppose.
Yeah, just a nose. No cut.
You just ordered a pizza out there. Look away.
Yeah.
Water. Lord, wash your mouth.
A lot of work to be done there. Huh? Excellent round. Phillips.
Yeah, he worked well on the inside and the outside. Here, you'll see some of these uppercuts. That's that combination I talked about, the left hook and then the left uppercut. And when he gets on the inside, he is working all kinds of combinations.
He has really slowed Lupe Aquino.
Yeah, visibly. There's the hook. That is the punch from Verno Phillips that he can land as a counter punch.
Three-punch combination. There's the uppercut. He has really gotten in gear in the last two rounds.
Phillips outlanded Aquino 44-28 in power shots in round 5.
And I don't think they were able to do much with that nose of Lupe Aquino, which again lends even more credence to the fact that the nose is broken. Fight getting closer on your card.
Yeah, and that knockdown is the only thing that keeps it from being even, that knockdown in the
first round.
Actually, it was the first round. That was it.
Interestingly enough, I didn't make it a 10-8 round because I thought Phillips had won the round up to that point.
And you could make a case for not doing that.
A lot of blood from the nose of Lupe Aquino.
Now, the interesting thing for Lupe Aquino is that he's now getting beaten soundly on the inside. And the body work is taking a toll on him. And his arms are low. Lupe Aquino, I think, is getting a bit tired.
Yeah, and of course, it's not going to be any easier to breathe because of that nose. So he's got some big problems here. And Phillips right now is just teeing off on Aquino.
You know what? It looks like a 23-year-old who's not had many tough fights against a 29-year-old who's been through a lot. Personally, emotionally, and in the ring.
And a 23-year-old whose confidence is surging.
Yeah. Not to write off Lupe Aquino, but you can see what's happened here in the last 2 rounds.
Right now, Phillips is beating up Lupe Aquino.
Yeah. But the key thing here is Lupe still has that power.
Does he?
Well, we'll see. His punches are a little wider, but if he throws a straight right hand, there's a good right hand downstairs, he may still be able to hurt Verno Phillips.
Yeah, the one thing that Phillips has to be careful of now is getting too brave.
Very little activity from Aquino. I'll be anxious to see the number of punches he threw in this round at the end.
And in the meantime, Phillips just continues to tee off on him. Terrific combination. That uppercut, I think, hurt Aquino. He just stood straight and still.
Beautiful left hook after the right hand by Phillips. That was a beautiful counterpunch by Verno Phillips.
Phillips has waited for this chance for a long time. He's bided his time. As we said earlier, he was a very nervous young man yesterday, but seemingly, even in the walk-in, he wasn't nearly as tight as I expected he might be. And now, clearly, he is a man who feels that he can win this fight. Terrific round for Verno Phillips, and this man right at the moment is going to have to find something that has not yet been there tonight.
Así tomando que está afinando, no va para. No, he's not cut, he's fine. I want you, listen, I want you to get your shot inside and put your shoulder in there. You understand? He told you, put your shoulder in there and bring those shots up there like we work in the gym. You understand? Come on, do it. Come on, there you go. Don't get careless, you understand? All right. All right. Don't get careless. Do your thing and get out. Do your thing and get out. Do you understand? He's pushing you. He's pushing you. All right, pal?
Yeah. I have to say, he does not sound the least bit tired. You don't even really hear any heavy breathing.
Let's go. Come on, Will. Come on, baby.
Don't get careless. The watchword in that corner. In this corner, Lupe Quino, it's very simple. I think he's got to land something big to hurt Verno Phillips.
And quickly.
And every time Lupe Quino initiates action, he gets nailed with a big counterpunch. So it's real dangerous.
There was a nice counter right, and he spun Aquino around to do it.
Well, people say that the junior middleweight division has been waiting for someone to challenge Terry Norris and to help him in this division. Well, maybe Verno Phillips is the guy.
It's an ESPN top-ranked pay-per-view triple header. We're at the America West Arena here in Phoenix. This is our first fight of the night. A battle, and battle being the operable word for the WBO Super Welterweight Championship between Lupe Aquino and the blue trunks, Verno Phillips in the black and green, and another good left hand that knocks Lupe Aquino backwards. And Lupe Aquino is about to go, and he is down and hurt. And I think this is over. They're stopping it right now. Verno Phillips has won this fight, and he has done so in dramatic and in sudden fashion.
Abel Sanchez coming in much to the chagrin of Lupe Aquino. But when a fighter turns away like that, usually it's an indication a fight to be stopped. And this young man, Verno Phillips, overcame the tension, overcame the nervousness of the moment, and created an excellent performance against a guy in Lupe Aquino who showed us in the early rounds he came here to reclaim a title.
Just a brilliantly executed fight plan by a young fighter who you really have an idea you're going to see a lot more of now. He will never be as nervous as he was tonight.
No.
And it only took him about 3 minutes to get over that.
And you know, he's got an awkward, interesting style that makes it kind of hard to hit him. And he comes at you in different angles with his punches. And the one thing he does, and boy, this is what you look for in a fighter, he throws combinations.
He's got some power. I think against the lesser man, he'd get him out of there maybe even sooner. Lupe Aquino, not by any stretch of the imagination the easiest man to get out of there. Here's the way it ended out.
The left hook was the key for Phillips. I mentioned earlier how much the left hook would work for him. The uppercut after the hook, and then that right hand was really just icing on the cake. And once a fighter turns away like this, now Verno got a little overzealous here when his opponent was down, but nevertheless, superb effort by Phillips. Here's the double left hook and the uppercut after it. And that's what set up that right hand.
And that right hand was huge.
Phillips chasing him from behind, a little fired up at the moment when he could get his title. Those beautiful double left hooks and then the uppercut. You just have to like the combination punching of Verno Phillips. And even if he looks awkward doing it sometime, the fact is he gets the job done.
Well, that's an impressive performance by this man, Verno Phillips. Let's make it official with Michael Buck.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Al Munoz has to call a halt to the bout. The official time, 57 seconds of round number 6. The winner by TKO and new WBO Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Verno Phillips.
So Verno Phillips is the champion, and he did so, and really there's nothing fluke whatsoever about this fight. Phillips came in here having lost only once, and he got that turned around in a big hurry. I beg your pardon, he actually has lost 4 fights, but he hasn't lost since he lost to Kenny Gould back in 1990. He started off a little bit rough. He lost his 6th fight to a fellow by the name of Carl Sullivan. Then he lost to Larry Barnes, who we saw in Top Rank Boxing just earlier this week win a championship, an NABF title. Then he lost to Kenny Gould in a fight that he really felt should not have been stopped when it was, which was in the 6th round. From that point on, he got himself righted. He said he started to take it a lot more serious, and right now the new champion is with Al Bernstein. Al?
Well, thank you, Barry. Some happy guys here. First, I have to ask you, Verno, you looked like the most nervous fighter I've ever seen in my life yesterday, and yet you came through with a great performance. How nervous were you yesterday?
Well, I just don't like to talk, you know. I like to do it in the ring, you know. I'm too shy in an interview, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But so I just came in, did it. You know, I knew I was the underdog, and you know, my trainer, for him, this ain't mine, and this ain't his.
Oh, that's sweet.
You know what I mean? With him, this is both of ours, you know what I mean? And I just said one thing back at home, your Hector, your grandma, everybody, yo, Cuddy, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Back at home, coming home, Tage and Josh, champion.
Right. Well, you're coming home with the belt. A superb performance. In the first round, he hit you with the left hook, knocked you down, more off balance, but you could feel his power in the first round.
Yeah, in the first round, he caught me. That was just, you know, a shock, you know. If I got up and shoes, what I had to do, my trainer was telling me, just stick to the body and move, you know what I mean? He was coming in strong. I was just like, you know, I courage to leave myself open because he was like strong to the body, you know.
But you worked the body extremely well.
Well, you know, I'm good at that, you know what I mean? And he taught me that, you know, and that's how I beat my opponent.
Let's take a look, a quick look at the, well, down there. Take a look at the body, the knockdown of you in the first round.
Well,
if you can see it
he
down
caught
there.
me. I left myself open, and it was a daze, you know? Yeah.
Now, but you were able to end the fight. You were able to get into him and get to him and end the fight. And Verno, it was a special effort by you in that round.
Well, I busted his nose.
Here we go. You see it right down here.
I kept on. I know he was going down. I just jumped on him, you know? And he just gave himself up. Just saw his people come in the ring, and I knew it was going to be over.
The double left hook and the uppercut, a unique combination. Not everybody uses, but it's good for you.
Well, he taught me that.
Not too many guys throw that, you know. I've been working with him and Kevin Pompey, the combinations, it works beautiful.
And I'd like to thank you, USBA champion Kevin Pompey. Give me the workout back at home.
There you
know
go.
what I mean?
Kevin, one of your stablemates who would like to get a world championship shot as well. Great performance. He put your game plan into effect perfect.
That's the way I wanted it. I told you, right?
You did indeed.
We're not going to fight his fight. We're going to fight our fight. And he did beautifully.
Let's get Bob in here. What looks like it's next here? What are you looking for? I mean, it's a championship, but what do you think?
Top rank, whatever they give us. He beat Vasquez, the champ of the world there, and won. The only loss.
Want him again.
Do we want him again? That'd be the perfect shot for us.
Okay. It's such a good moment for you, and I would think it's made even more special by the fact that you beat a former champion.
Well, like I said, he was in his prime. He was Davis there. I look up to him. I caught one of his routine, you know, where the body come with a straight left. And, you know, but I didn't use that against him, you know.
Right.
So.
Congratulations. Great performance.
Coming home.
Okay, he's coming home, and he's coming home with a belt. Let's go back to another champ, Barry Tompkins.
All right, thanks very much, Al. Well, really an impressive win for a nice young man, Verno Phillips. Yes, he was nervous before the fight started, but it took, as we said, about 3 minutes for him to get into the rhythm of it. From about the 3rd round on, Verno Phillips really started to dictate the tempo of the fight. On my card, incidentally, I had the fight even at that point. We're trying to find out how the judges saw it up to that point. Al actually had Aquino in front by 1 point at the time of the knockout, but Verno Phillips had really started to take charge Interesting enough, the punch profile people tell us in the numbers, Phillips had landed 175 power shots to just 114 for Lupe Aquino. What's interesting about that is that it was Aquino who really came into the fight as the guy with the reputation of someone who's going to get you out of there, as opposed to Verno Phillips. And Verno Phillips tonight did it exactly as they drew it up.
You know, the thing about Verno, and it's interesting.